We are live. Grand Rising, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, and everybody in between. This is Ptah Shakur here, holding it down here on the most powerful all hours, the hour of power broadcast here. Like I'm gonna do my due diligence right now. We're streaming out, going out to the White Rose Community Television viewership here from York, Pennsylvania. It is June 26, 2024, 8 p.m. Should already had your calendars and everything set to remind you of this particular wonderful occasion. We're going to do our due diligence like always. Make sure that this high content gets out to the Facebook land right now. So if everybody who's listening on White Rose Community Television, if you give us about 60 seconds to go ahead and get this did. Got the God in the house, Brother Sharif. Thank you for joining me in here. Let me do a little sound checkity check. There I is. So I'm on this. We'll share this to my page, Ptah Shakur. Go ahead and check me out on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, it's Ptah Shakur 1111. That's angel numbers for you right there. And also, like I said, on later on YouTube. So let me do my due diligence. Send this out. It's out going out to Peace Elohim, coming out to you right now. Boom. Send this on the other page there. How you doing today, God?
Hanging in there, bro.
Staying cool. we survived the heat wave here on the East Coast. That's something else we're going to kind of get into just really briefly. And this is an open conversation. We want to invite anyone who is listening. If you want to join in a part of the conversation, join the Love Light movement, you are welcome to do so as well. Share that to Peace Elohim. Send this out to Miss Jolie Velez. We're looking to get her and Bridget on. They're filming a movie. They big time right now. They're filming a movie on Wednesday, so it kind of throws them off. But I think starting the next couple of weeks, they'll be available to get on. It's also going out to Mr. Roger Stone. Roger Myers. Who's Roger Stone? I think that's a director. You ever heard the name Roger Stone?
No.
I don't know who that is. But like I said, we sent that all out. Grand Rising, got a quick little question here for you. Let me grab this little paper off of here real quick. Gotta move my little stuff over. Question is, have you ever felt like you different or undergoing a profound change during this particular time period that we're living in right now? What if I told you that you're making a transition to a crystalline body? Yes, inside, can you turn that down a little bit? It's throwing me off a little bit. You're making a transition into a whole new form, a whole new being that you're being transformed into from your carbon-based body structure to a crystalline body structure. I'm going to be touching in a little bit on a syllabus that I've been putting together to help everybody understand the current changes. If you've been listening to this program for any period of time, and you've seen my face any period of time, I've been really a proponent sharing that we are living in a very crucial aspect of time. We're living in the revelations of the Bible. We're living in the return of the Mahdi, the return of the Christ consciousness. This is for all the marbles. So tremendous respect for anybody who's pulling air right now at this particular time. However, even though this is the great and dreadful day, they said in the scriptures, it's great if you understand what's going on, and it's dreadful if you don't have any type of that information. So this little syllabus that I'm going to be giving a little small taste into, which I tried to do in my Monday program, but it didn't really come out necessarily. But I'm going to give a little bit for everybody who's out there listening to help understand what's going on in your physical body so you can really understand where your place is and with this particular change. So, but like always, I'm going to do my little disclaimer. Warning, the information you hear may excite you, may depress you, it may trigger you. I promise you that the information is coming from nothing but a lovingly manner. That's when I say love light. Love means the idea of expression of peace, enjoyment. We all need a little bit of that in our lives. And when I'm saying bringing light, I'm bringing that knowledge right now. So this information, like I said, may sound blasphemous. Please give a call in, 717-846-5067. We can have a wonderful, civilized discourse. The information that I am presenting is scientifically backed, peer-reviewed studies, as well as my knowledge being adept into the world of metaphysics, occult, energy, spiritual vibrations and things. But we're going to get into all that in a little bit. So I'll just give my little brief intro. I'm going to keep it kind of sweet and short. The information you hear may come across blasphemous. Like I said, it may come saying egotistical, but when it comes to affirmations, I'm a very, very fervent believer of affirmations. You have to speak and involve and have a positive mental outlook on yourself, the best mental outlook on yourself, so you can free your cells in your body so you can actually live out that reality. So I know my place in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm in the upper room. God is, God is, God is. I'm Ptah Shakur. I look to share light in all facets of everybody that I interact with. I come from love. I am love. And I choose to look at the world through the lens of love. I commit myself to choosing the upper room towards vibrating on the highest level possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. Behold, I'll make all things new. I'm a catalyst for change, a role model, youth advocate, Reiki practitioner, entrepreneur, spiritual guide, and channel. See myself as a bridge helping explain some of these current situations and some of the jargon that may be unfamiliar to certain individuals so you can understand what's going on in this current cosmic change that we're living in right now. I am always connected to the frequency and the heart of God, and I now bring forth solutions to change myself and the world. I'm a rebel. Number one, importantly, you're not going to see another program like this here. I'm a rebel here to uninstall cowardlessness. I seek to shed light on the daily atrocities that are being orchestrated by the elites, by the bullies in creation that are looking to perform their end game and is closer than what you think. I intend to promote nothing but love, light, education, motivation for all those seeking to understand these current changes. I'm a dangerous man to those elites and anybody who's trying to go move forward with corruption and actually put a cap on the truth. And for anybody who's willfully participating in your own energetic enslavement, this ain't the tea for you. I'm not the person for you. This might not even be the show for you. So, shout out to all my YouTube subscribers. Go ahead and go on Ptah Shakur on YouTube right now, or after this program is over. Oh, make sure you get a pen and paper. Make sure you write some of this down because it's going to become fast and furious. You want to make sure that you take some notes. And please call in if you have any questions because we're going to go into all that. But for all my YouTube subscribers out there, remember that you are eternal beings with forever being a fraction of eternity. You are beautiful, powerful, divine children of the most divine grid programmer, Allah, God, whatever concept you want to call you, we are children of that. And to all my hooded youth, we love you. And even though the generations our generations let you down and the previous generations let you down, the buck stops here with us. We believe the youth right now are some of the most powerful souls that have ever incarnated, that have now chosen to come back to hence help the earth actually move into this fifth dimensional high frequency vibration, and we get opportunity to raise along with it. If you're woke, if you're up for it, if you're on the upper track, Star Seed, salute to you. You understand that you're a divine being and you're doing your due diligence to shed your light with the world. If you're in the mid-between, you're on the middle tracker, you're still trying to ascertain whether the information you hear in the mass media and the things that was presented to you ever since you was indoctrinated as a youth in this public school system, and you really kind of question the things that's really been on your mind, please do your due diligence. Write this information down. You got to research. Every tub standard's on the bottom. You can't blame Biden. They lead us into a fiery pit. You be like, oh, I was just following thus and thus. And so use that tool that's inside in your mind right now. We are the new, all my star seeds, wanderers, indigo children, angelic souls. We are the new founding fathers of this creation. And I'm asking everybody, let's unite in love. First, get that love for self, because you can't love nobody else until you love yourself. So when you love yourself, then give a small smidget of that to your other fellow human beings that are masquerading. Really, we call them your reflections, but we're going to get to that a little bit. I would never hurt myself, never kill myself, due to be a happily married man, seeking to be a pillar in my community. And I invite everybody to get tapped in, tuned in, to turn on to the most powerful of all hours, the hour of power. So that's my little brief line intro that I go into. And like I said, the affirmation that I said in the beginning, it's a good, before you start your day, just look at yourself in the mirror. This is called the Superman pose. This is something that is proven now. Whenever you feel nervous and we're being able to get ready to orate or have a conversation, or be able to, you got a real nervous situation, a presentation at your job, or something that's really, really kind of racking you, all you got to do the morning before is look at yourself in the mirror. Say those positive affirmations. Say, I'm powerful, I am intelligent, I am smart, I am worthy, people love me. Say those things to yourself. Ain't nobody around. They're not gonna laugh at you. And put your hands on your hips like this. Stand up. It's called a Superman pose. Go ahead and duck, go that if you think I'm lying. So, like I said, this particular information, and here on the Hour of Power program, this is a community program. We've either had programs on before. We had individuals come on, share about their exploits into personal business, educational, historical, genealogy. Individuals came on, and we're looking to bring other individuals. So if you have something to share, if you're a youth out there, or you know of some youth that's doing something positive in the community, we need to see them on this channel right now. If you are an entrepreneur and you started a new business and you want to kind of get that connection out to the community, step on right here. And I got something real special because we're moving into the holiday, the political season in a little bit. So we're going to be talking about some politics. If you have varying views, we need to hear about that. That's the only way we can unite. We all have differences. It's all diversity. So this is a program you can come in and we all just express ourselves and get what off of your mind. So that's my little part sharing about this. What you got for them today, bro?
Nothing much. Just supporting you and thanking you for helping me keep the Hour of Power going through some times. You know, we all have difficult times. Not myself. I don't look myself, but I'm trying to get back to myself, and I really appreciate you helping me keep this platform going.
Hey man, not a problem. This is what we're here for.
We can talk about some things that, and people are welcome to call in 717-846-5067. We haven't given them no content yet, but you're always welcome to call in and share anything that's on your mind, anything that's going on in the community.
Absolutely. So, like I said, this is an open forum. We're gonna keep it kind of loose and kind of fresh today. Like I said, go to YouTube on Ptah Shakur. You can look at all the plethora of videos I have on there. A lot of them are on the same type of theme. You might be saying, what is that theme? And I'm gonna share with you just real briefly, if I can put it in a nutshell. Well, like I said in my little soliloquy in the very, very beginning, we are moving into some really, really highly energetical times. This is something that was written about in all the scriptures and the scrolls, and that Revelation book that they have on the end, which was before it was actually one of the first books of the Bible. You understand that the Bible had been rearranged in a little bit, but that truth that was put into the Revelation was the John. Is that the individual who wrote the Revelations?
I'm not sure.
He had a prophet.
I know the gospel writers. You talk about Paul?
No, he wasn't a gospel. He was an individual that came on later on who had this. That's what the Revelations is based off of. He had this particular vision. In the vision, he said, "Behold, I see a new heaven and a new earth." He talked about like the four horsemen and the plagues that was going to be set upon the world and things of that nature.
Sure, that wasn't Paul.
It might have been Paul. I apologize. I don't remember the name of the individual. However, we're firmly into that energy right now. And if you're paying attention, let me do a quick pivot. Just to share with you in the news. In case this information, you don't want to listen to Ptah Shakur. Let's listen to the news. In the news, this is what we got going on. And we can dialogue and talk about this. This is fresh off the platter here. Kenya, there's protests going on in Kenya right now. Let's backtrack a little bit. Mr. Joe Biden went to Kenya, I believe it was a couple weeks ago. He was touting, he was talking to the president of Kenya. He was kind of trying to get Kenya to get involved with some of the more Americanized exploits, particularly they was trying to find a way to get into Cuba. So he reached over to the Kenyan president and said, "Hey, we want you to lead this operation into Cuba." And the Kenyan president said, "Okay, he's part of the table now." So now what happened? The Kenyan president decided that they're going to raise the tariffs or raise the taxes on the people in Kenya. And you know what they said? They said, "We're not going for that." No. So now hey, let me read. Ptah Shakur, I don't make stuff up here. Protest over Kenya tax hike proposal turns deadly in Nairobi. This was just yesterday. Outside of Kenya, police opened fire with protesters who took it to the streets. Basically, kind of get down to the nitty and to the gritty. That swift change, they was watching what's going on with their elected officials. They pay attention to what's going on in their country. Ooh, let me get on to that. They pay attention and they know that their part in their culture and their country is to make sure they stand up and say something. Well, I mentioned that in a way. I get to that point in a little bit. So we got Kenya, the protests going on in Kenya. We got the whole entire continent of Kenya splitting asunder. Go ahead and Google it. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead and DuckDuckGo that. Check that one out. Write that down. I told you I'll get a pen and pad. Underneath this continent of the whole entire continent of Africa, there is a supercontinent that is underneath of Africa that is birthing, that's coming up through the mother country right now. Much like you see how like a lava lamp, like you shake it up a little, you see like the hot, I guess the cool part of the lava part go up, and then you get part.
What's the turmoil over?
You mean as far as the protest?
Yeah.
Because they chose to raise the president of Kenya decided they was going to raise the taxes on the people. You know, and now that money is supposed to be going to go pay back the IMF or some type of loans that are going on over there. But the point is that you see you see other individuals around the country waking up and they're deciding that, hey, we got a role to play. We say the squeaky wheel gets the oil. American citizens, if you're listening right now, are you really comfortable with the way that your society is being ran? Are you comfortable with your political options at this particular junction in time? Are you comfortable with the education system? Are you comfortable with the curriculum that is being injected into our education system for our youth? I would reckon to say the average individual, we would understand with that we're not totally in harmony. This is not the dream that our forefathers left us when they decided the Constitution. It says for the people, by the people. But we're living in a world right now where 1% of the population owns 99% of the wealth, 99% of the resources. So I'm gonna ask you all at home right now. You see what's going on in Kenya? We're not going for that. But however, for some reason in America, we hear things going on in the news and we're just stuck in this whole trance. And it truly is a trance. When you look at this far as if you're brushing your teeth right now, well, not right now, but if you're brushing your teeth at any time in the last 24 hours or plan to in the next 24 hours, while you grab that toothpaste and put it on your brush, go ahead and turn it around and read on the back of it. Let me know if it says fluoride in that particular toothpaste. Most times it is. Now with that, go ahead and Google or DuckDuckGo IG Farben, and you realize that in the Holocaust, the reason why they was able to dispose of so many souls there in the Jewish persuasion is because they heavily introduced fluoride into the water supply. What does that do, Ptah? I'll answer it. Person sounds just like me. What it does is it puts you in a catatonic state. So you got the fluoride water. They even put fluoride in the water. We used to take fluoride pills. Anybody remember that? Shout out. Fluoride keeps you down. The music. Are you comfortable with the music that is being portrayed to our youth nowadays? This overly sex. Now they got. We grew up with like Little Kim. I remember.
Even before that.
Who? Yeah. I mean, well, who was? I mean, as far as friends.
What's his sister's name? That was Kool D. She passed away, I think. Queen Latifah, MC Light. So I'm a couple of years older than you. That's what I remember as a model and a good example of a woman. Queen Latifah, MC Light. They didn't have all their body parts out. Their music had a meaning to it. You came along a couple years after me, but as far as a good example of a black woman, that's what we grew up on. Queen Latifah, MC Light. Man, I can't remember that sister's name. That was Kumo D.
We even had Salt
She was
and Pepper.
in self-destruction. She was in that.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, but people. People like that was my example.
Yeah, that was like what about like the late 80s,
late 80s, yeah.
early 90s. You had Salt and Pepper talking about "Let's Talk About Sex, Baby." I remember listening to that song. I thought that was what's the word? I thought that was raunchy. You know what I mean? Back in the days, you know, from my
that ain't nothing compared to what you hear and see now.
You hear about the color of they anus. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the WAP and you got all these type of things. This is what's teaching our young ladies what an example of what it is to be a woman. They're learning from these Megan Thee Stallions and they're learning from all these people that is just, it went from being subtly raunchy, even like music back in the day, you talking about making love, they making analogies, I want to visit your garden and you know what I mean, and things of that nature, I want to be inside you and all. Now it's just straight out on the table. You know, I'm going to do this, do that. Are you listening to all this right there? That this music industry, as well as that was just the female example. Now the male examples, where's our leaders at today? Particularly now, I'm going to the black community. I'm going to the black and brown community. Rub my hands together. That means I'm about to get into something right now. Where's our leaders? We were taught that our leaders was Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and maybe Malcolm X. You know, that they're all on pieces of paper like a lot lined up around the room. But where is our living role models right now? Is it Jesse Jackson? Is it Al Sharpton? We need some new blood. They all about to get ready to tip over and pass on out. You know what I mean? So, American people, this is my PSA. This is a Ptah Shakur announcement. If you're comfortable with the world is that you're living in, then by all means, please turn this channel off and do not turn back on again. But if you're a person and you're on that middle track, like I'm saying, you're in the middle track and you're just trying to decide whether it is the information being presented to you, whether it's factual or not. Even to coming in the face with all these deep fakes and all these type of things. American people, we are in a slumber trance. Like I mentioned about the music, I mentioned about the fluoride. We no longer really care about what is affecting our fellow human being. And that really needs to change like ASAP. Because like I said, those bad actors, they really got a plan. They have an end game for all of us. All those that refuse to use your noodle, you got something in store. Moving on, let's talk about this heat wave. The oceans have never been this hot. I mean, according to scientific data of when they started to record this particular data, oceans have never been that as high. We got water from the caps melting, water levels rising. We got hurricanes coming up the West Coast. So we're living in a real transformation time. Yeah, I think you all understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm getting? I'm moving into something else. Biden and Trump. They got that poised up. It's like one of them pay-per-view with some fights where they get together and they put like their little fist up.
Who's their competition?
Oh, you mean as far as like that's a great question. Because it's normally before, it's not like presumption that, oh, this person's running for president. You gotta have primaries and stuff like that. I mean, it was like Nikki Haley.
I couldn't name who Trump's competition is for the Republican, and I don't know who Biden's competition is for Democrat.
Well,
is it just them two?
I mean, look at that.
Gotta be somebody.
And in fact, I'll give a special little. If anybody wants to call in or send a comment in below on any of the streams that I sent out. Hopefully you could do that before the 9 o'clock hour, because we're going to be dipping out of here. I know people get in contact like way late. I need to know who are these other individuals that are lined up on the ticket that are possibly, I know one individual is possibly could throw a monkey wrench in this whole thing. His name is Robert F. Kennedy. And they're giving him a hard time. Just being able to be at the primaries.
Our brother Gito G said we have heroes that are living all around us. They're our family, our mom, our dad, our mentors, friends, but we taught they're just regular people and not superheroes for saving us every day. I think that's a good point.
That's a great point.
Because we, for sure, that I know of, don't have one Masonic leader like we had, back in the day. And maybe that's good, because when we had those Masonic leaders, which we'll probably never be able to replace, Martin Luther King, Malcolm, blah, 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 then it's easier for the enemy to target where the energy, where the knowledge is coming from. But if it's spread out amongst everyday people like ourselves, it's not as easy to target, and it's our responsibility. And I apologize for not doing what I can for our youth and my boys.
Well, hey man, we all, that's true. First face, shout out to Judo. Thank you for putting that in. I'm gonna kind of bust that up just a little bit. True indeed, our heroes and our role models are coming from real intimate type of environments, such as, like you said, parents and things of that nature. However, we're talking about on a mass consciousness level, and what anyone who is on a level of understanding realize as a people, as a whole entire, not just talking about black people, white people, everyone who is in this particular, on this ball of earth, these 99%, we've been hoodwinked. We have a wall over our eyes. We've been in a trance-like situation. This trance-like situation is not just on black people, not just on Spanish people, not just on white people. We are all been deceived. That corruption that you see that's taking place, that's being shown in the music industry with Diddy and all that, and there's more things coming. Even in the religious realm, there's a pastor out of Brooklyn, New York. They call him the Bling Bishop. He's faced on some racketeering charges now.
Where's he at now? Because he had it was like it's almost like it was staged where they robbed him during a church service, and he had like a real expensive watch on, and his wife had expensive jewelry on, and people said he was cheating them out of their life savings and stuff. Where's he at right now?
Well, right now he's talking to some federal investigators, and it looks like he's gonna be taking some federal time in prison, for what the charges they got on him, dealing with the money laundering and the racketeering and things.
See, that makes young people and just people in general have less faith in religion. You know what I mean? I don't know what the answer is these days, but it doesn't help when you have things like that, especially for our youth, because they're looking for guidance. They're looking for someone to guide them. That's why they join gangs and different things like that, because they want guidance. They want to be led.
They do. I mean, but unfortunately, like you just said, we gotta listen to what we're saying. So many times that has happened in religious institutions where there's no checks and balances. If you can stand up and you can make with hammer and nails a building, you can call that the house of God. If you can write, and that came from a man. If you write a particular book and you say this book is a book from God, we got to understand that if it comes from the energy of a man, it has a limit. Like it has a race. Like a human race, which is with black is not a race. Everything else is a race, meaning that everything has an end. And so what we're speaking about is the knowledge that most people, that your mom, your dad, your uncles, the ones we consider to be our role models, they are absent of the knowledge that is necessary in order for us to make this key transition to this world. So it's good that it feels good, say my role models and my families and all that. However, when it comes to having knowledge that is able to assist us as we move into this new realm, go ahead and get your Bibles out. Go ahead and get your religious scriptures out. This is the time for a great transition, and this is the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Let me just stay on that. This is the great and dreadful day of the Lord. It's great if you know what's going on, and it's dreadful if you don't.
Do you think that we need a Masonic leader to get us over the hump, or like what's the solution? And if anyone thinks they have any ideas on that, our brother, and I appreciate that compliment, brother, but if anyone has any ideas, back in the 60s, which I didn't live in that time, that seemed to be the answer, but they either malign them, defame them, or the ultimate, they took them out when that one Masonic leader was so visible.
Yes, sir.
What do you think that we need this day and time to guide us Not that everyone's doing bad. There's plenty of young people that are doing good, and sometimes we concentrate too much on things that are not going good. But I think you do a good job of highlighting and trying to bring up. It is plenty of youth that are doing well and excelling. It isn't.
Yes, sir.
It isn't everyone.
Well, this to get back to what you were saying. What do we need at this particular time? We need the new. And part of the knowledge that I'm sharing, I started off my little disclaimer. Warning, the information you hear may be blasphemous because this is a new knowledge that I'm speaking. I by all means am not the only one. However, what we need in that new knowledge is to understand that we all have the divine aspect in us. We all are born God supreme. And so when we come to knowledge of self, that's the key thing that we need at this particular time. If every man, woman, and his child understands the knowledge that divinity that's inside of them, and then you go walk your path on the perfect manner, keeping always on the alert, and this person walks their path in the perfect manner, and if we all become enlightened to the reality of what we already are, then if we walk that path in a most harmonious manner, we can change this world around in a very short amount of time. So that whole idea of looking for a savior, looking for someone to come and rescue us, that's the mentality that needs to die, and it needs to die fast. Mm-hmm. Because whenever we're always stuck, and we were taught, we came over here, particularly if you were African American, this ain't our language, this ain't our name, we were taught the ways we were born in sin and baptized in iniquity. So think about that. That's for your mom, your dad, your uncle. That's for everybody in this whole that's alive right now. You're born in sin. And from your first experience, you baptized in iniquity. That means you already got the death blow of knowledge kind of knocked out of you. So we got to return to the knowledge that was previously. And this is knowledge that go back into the Thoth. This is knowledge that go back into the ancient Egypt. As far as the tapping, and all of our religious people were saying that. Buddha's saying it, Jesus is saying it. The kingdom of God is within. So if we hear stuff like that and we say, that ain't really true, I gotta pay homage to this. The kingdom of God is within. Then why do I need to go to this particular place to get in contact with God? Why do I need to talk to the Pope to get in contact with God? So we really gotta start to think. And as we start to think, then we understand the true role that we have in changing the world, and then we change the world. There's nobody coming for us.
Yeah, we may not see that kind of presence from one individual again. That God may bless us with that at that time, which we didn't live through that time. We're just byproducts of it. But we may not get no one like that. And I like what you said. Nor should we be looking for. If everyone does a little, no one has to do a lot. But I think our youth do still need to see, the elders in front of them, guide them. Everyone needs guidance.
Yes, sir. Right. The question is, where is our guidance? And if you look at the little tagline underneath it there, New World Order or New Earth. And like you just saying, that there's other people that have that same mentality as well. Like, we won't be at that time where there be people, standing up for truth. I don't believe that at all. I believe I'm one of those individuals. I'm not calling myself overly more important than anybody else. Because if you leave my little intro that I say every single time, that I am the omnipresent energy of divine energy and source. I am that. But in short, I'm your brother, and even shorter, I'm you. So everybody outside of me is a reflection. So everybody has the capacity to do what I'm doing. What I'm doing, like I got that Shakur name behind me right now, Ptah Shakur. My purpose that I chose for myself is to enliven, inspire, and educate anyone that's in my periphery that wants to get this. And I've been very, very successful, and I will be continuing. And there's other individuals. Shout out to Billy Carson. Shout out to October. There's individuals that are presenting high frequency knowledge, but don't be fooled. If you're at home right now, you have a mentality like, okay, this world is going to hell, and we gotta pray, wait for God to come get us. Trust and believe. We think like that because of those 1% have done a damnable job to make sure that we believe that. So we believe that the answers are going to come from an exterior source. That is not true. But how beautiful the universe is. whatever world you want to live in, that'll be the world that you live in. What I mean by that? When it says in scripture, said, behold, I see a new heaven and a new earth. That means those individuals that see this time is to start with the new. Because the things are dying around us. The political system is dead. The financial system is dead. Partly because they're killing it. It's called the Global Economic Forum. Go ahead and Google that. That's Klaus von Schwab. They're killing the money. Their educational system. It's time for a new educational system. And so there's individuals that are looking to replace that educational system, replace the way that we pick our elected officials and leaders. This is a whole new realm. And for those that want to stay, they want to, you don't believe what Ptah Shakur said, you want to go ahead and get those the VR goggles that they're going to have all these commercials and all this publication. Yeah, you need to get this VR goggle and sit in your house for 12 hours a day, and then you can just do everything there. You can even work from there. And in fact, we'll ship you some food. We'll ship you these little packets of Capri Sun, and you suck on this, and it gives you all your nutrients that you need for the day. And you just stay your little self in your room, in your little cubicle, like that movie Ready Player One. Meanwhile, individuals like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and all those that realize that there's too many people on this planet, they're culling the population. That means individuals are being killed off on this particular realm because they know that the earth cannot sustain so much life. This is the world that we live in. So if anybody wants to adopt a dystopian type of view of life.
And when you say killing off, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, even let me take Bill Gates for instance. Bill Gates and Bill Gates and Bill and Melinda Foundation have been funneling huge amount, millions and millions of dollars in Caltech to put RNA, DNA, genetical material in the actual lettuce. So when we eat, or you think you're eating healthy, but you're eating something that has genetically modified organisms. Go to the shelves right now. Go to whatever place that you shop at right now. Go ahead and get your cereal. Go look at your bread. Go look at your pastry strudels and your Pop-Tarts and all that. And when you turn behind and you look, it says this product was produced with biochemical engineering. Then you ask, what is that biochemical engineering? Then we go a step even further. We go into that jab. Ooh, I'm rubbing my hands together.
Brother Gito has a question. He said, do you believe that a lot of blacks in Americas don't come from Africa at all? In fact, they populated Africa and took the knowledge with them around the globe. I'm not.
Can you read that one more time?
It says, do you believe that a lot of blacks in the Americas don't come from Africa at all? In fact, they populated Africa and took the knowledge with them around the globe. My good brother, I don't quite understand your question. Maybe you can call in or send us another message. But sometimes it's better to call in, because sometimes when you send messages, it don't come across quite like you want it.
Sure.
You're welcome to call in, because I don't quite understand what you mean. 717-846-5067.
But even that last part that we were sharing, there's a lot of validity to that. Like all of the spiritual knowledge that is being held in the basement of that place called the Vatican. Oh, I got a brother I'm gonna bring on the show. We're gonna get into some deep stuff. These hidden knowledge as far as how to relate with the earth, what herbs to get from the earth, your position with the earth and your position galactically, how you can manifest things in your life. Those things were actually put into the Emerald Tablets. Those things was actually taught in the schools of Alexandria, Timbuktu. So yes, Africa, as we call it, which is really Absalom, that particular area, landmass, has always been the schools where Plato and Socrates actually pulled their. Even Jesus himself visited Egypt and benefited from the knowledge and sat at the feet of the priests there in Egypt. Because that's the question. You follow me? Know Jesus was in the manger. They were looking for him. Where did he go from 6 months to 30 years old? Where was he?
It's a missing time.
It's no longer a mystery.
Said the first Egypt was in America.
Yeah.
Getting
Somebody
into
wrote
deep-
that?
Yeah.
Who put that?
Gito.
Gito on some stuff, yo. He got some knowledge over there, bro. Yeah. Going into the Grand Canyon. There's a gentleman who took like 1920s. He took a little boat ride down the river, it was the Colorado River, and seen that there was some stairs that actually was cut into the rock face. There in the Grand Canyon, which is in Arizona, Colorado, Four Corners-ish. This bro, he went into, I can't remember his name, Smithsonian knows all this information. He went into this particular cave that was in this rock face. When he went in there, he saw Egyptian statues aligned all along the walls. And even in the back, he seen a Buddha. They haven't even got pictures of it now. It's like a Buddha-ish lotus sitting, what they call lotus style or whatever. That's in Egypt. That was in the Grand Canyon. And if you look at the different, I've been to the Grand Canyon. When you go to the Grand Canyon, you look out and they'll show you those different rock formations. Everybody see pictures. You just see old rocks. But if you look very, very closely, they have names. And one's called the Temple of Osiris, Temple of Shiva, Temple of Isis in America. So yeah, he's on some good stuff. But yeah, basically get back to the point of it that every form of knowledge came out of the mother country. And like I said, even Jesus himself went and sat at the feet of the individuals and actually learned from them individuals there in Africa, Absalom. So yeah, appreciate the knowledge on that right there. I did want to mention this real quickly before we go move on. This is news of the day. In case you don't know, Julian Assange. I hope I said his name correctly. We got a little problem with this live stream. You good on your thing?
It's glitching.
Yeah. Oh man, I had a little show on Monday. All it takes is certain bad actors to hit a couple buttons. But we're gonna do a due diligence. But anyways, Julian Assange. I think we back on. Yeah. He is actually a free man. Given that he has to. Now, if you don't know who Julian Assange is, I'm going to kind of share real briefly. This is an individual who's out of Australia. He was a journalist. An individual who will get paid to get truth, to put it in newspaper form so the mass public can know about the truth. Study your mass media. Study your Fox and your CNN and all those type of things. But this individual, he went and he shared as far as what the American military was doing in Iraq, in Iran. Some of the shady things that they were doing. Powers that be didn't like that. They considered this individual a traitor. He had to flee. I think he's over in Russia. Shout out to Snowden, Eric Snowden, another individual who came and downloaded information and shared with the mass media. Shared with the populace that our cell phones are recording everything that is being shared with us, and it's actually getting pulled and actually being sent right to the CIA to do its own domestic. What did he say? There's a book that we read growing up. What's it called? 1984. We talk about this dystopian world where everything you do is being seen. You can't hide anything. Everybody all in your business and everything. Let you get that.
Our power.
Rush Rig.
Yes, sir.
Gito G's. I think the live went down.
Yeah, it's doing some weird stuff right now.
It froze. I think they don't like what I said.
You know how it is.
Yeah, but no. So the first Egypt was here in America,
Okay, teach me.
and now that they are finding pyramids here in America, or discovering that the pyramids here in America and some of the mounds here in America are 5,000 to 10,000 years older than anything they ever found in Africa. Actually, the pyramids here are the original pyramids, and they have this diamond on top of the pyramid. Not a diamond itself, but this diamond shape you look at the pyramids in Africa, they don't have that.
Yes, sir.
There's a reason why. Also, the out of 648 crops in Africa today, 600 of them originated from the Amazon rainforest, from the Americas,
Yes, sir.
from something called the Milpa planting system. Now, an Aztec, he planted the Milpa planting system, and his name was Mashik. They named a land after him, and his followers was Mashikans. Today, we don't use XI as she no more. We use it as XI. So Mexicans are called Mexicans now, and not Mexicans like they used to be called.
Yes, sir. Now I'm listening.
Right.
I'm all in.
So even if you take, I'm just trying to give you a few things that you can research it. Even if you take the story of Moses, right?
Yes, sir.
So, of Noah.
Okay.
So Noah's Ark was made from a specific kind of wood. It was called gopher wood, right?
Sir.
Well, it's only one place in the entire world that ever produced gopher wood, and it's a little stream in Florida. Right?
Yes, sir.
So you ask yourself, how could people who never been here and have no knowledge of here